At the beginning of the movie, we see the Budwing family practicing catch. Walter, the older brother, doesn't get along with his younger brother, Danny. Walter often tries to put Danny down, which angers Danny. Their dad steps in and explains to Danny that he and Walter are different, but Walter is still his brother. Walter listens to his dad's words, but their father is too busy with work and struggles to give his kids the attention they need. Walter asks his dad if they can practice catch together, but his dad gets a work call. Recently divorced, their dad is juggling both work and taking care of his children. Danny asks his dad if he will play a game with him, but his dad is busy. This leads to an argument between the two brothers, and their father becomes frustrated with them. Danny then asks Walter if he will play with him, but Walter refuses and speaks harshly to his little brother. Danny gets upset and breaks Walter's walkie-talkie, which prompts Walter to complain to their dad. Their dad has to leave for the office, so he wakes up their older sister, Lisa, and asks her to look after her brothers. However, Lisa puts on her headphones and falls back asleep. Their father leaves for work, and Danny continues to play video games, but Walter comes in and changes the channel to a sports program. Danny doesn't like this and asks Walter to play catch with him, but Walter refuses again. Danny throws the ball at Walter's face, and Walter chases after him in anger. Danny hides in a dumbwaiter, but Walter finds him and sends him down to the basement. In the basement, Danny feels nervous as he looks around the dark and cluttered space. While exploring, he stumbles upon an old board game called Zathura. Curious, he takes a closer look at the game and then decides to bring it upstairs with him. Danny takes the Zathura game to Walter and asks him if he wants to play. However, Walter refuses. Undeterred, Danny winds the key and presses the button on the game. A card pops out, which Walter reads, Meteor Shower. Suddenly, meteors begin crashing through the ceiling, causing chaos. The brothers are shocked as they watch meteors destroy the room, smashing furniture and damaging everything in sight. They quickly hide to protect themselves from the falling debris. Once the meteor shower stops, they emerge from their hiding spots to find the room completely destroyed. When they look outside, they realize their entire house is floating in space, with the planet Jupiter visible up close. Frightened, they rush back inside the house, trying to process what just happened. They then see the vastness of the universe around them. The brothers wake up their sister Lisa, who is still unaware of what's going on. She dismisses their concerns, thinking it's nighttime and worrying that she's late for her date. The boys try to explain that everything is happening because of the game, but Lisa doesn't take them seriously. As they continue to play, Danny draws another card, which reads, Cryonic Sleep. Lisa suddenly freezes solid, trapped in a block of ice. The brothers are shocked as they realize their sister has been completely frozen. Walter reads the rules of the game, trying to figure out what to do next. Danny, scared, says he doesn't want to play anymore, but Walter convinces him that they have no choice. They must finish the game if they ever want to get back home. Walter turns the key again and draws the next card, which states that the robot has malfunctioned. A small robot appears in the house, and Walter initially thinks it will obey him. However, the robot quickly grows larger and identifies Walter as a threat, attacking him. The robot chases Walter around the house, trying to harm him. Meanwhile, Walter tells Danny to take his turn quickly. Danny draws a card that says they are passing near TSOURIS-3, a gravitational field that starts pulling everything toward it, including objects from inside the house. As the robot continues harm Walter, Danny struggles to help. The gravitational pull intensifies, and the brothers desperately try to keep everything from being sucked into space. Eventually, they manage to move away from the danger of TSOURIS-3. Lisa, still frozen, falls to the ground. Robot temporarily shuts down and tries to repair itself. Walter uses this moment to escape from the robot's reach. They leave Lisa in her frozen state for the time being. Danny declares that he no longer wants to play the game and goes off to make himself some food. Walter tries to reason with him, explaining that they must continue playing the game if they ever want to return home. However, Danny, feeling hurt, accuses Walter of always making fun of him. Danny tells Walter that he'll only continue playing if Walter starts treating him like a brother. Reluctantly, Walter agrees. Danny tr the key again and draws a new card. This time, the card reads, Zorgans are coming. Almost immediately, an alien ship appears and begins attacking their house. The boys, terrified, hide to avoid the aliens. Walter takes his turn and receives a card that says, Reprogram, but he's unsure what it means at the time. When Danny takes his next turn, the card reads, Rescue a stranded astronaut. Suddenly, an astronaut appears in their living room, asking who called him. Walter points at Danny, and the astronaut quickly assesses the situation. The astronaut tells them that to survive the Zorgans, they need to make the house invisible by eliminating any heat sources. He explains that Zorgans are heat-seeking predators. Following his instructions, they turn off all the lights in the house to stay hidden from the Zorgans. The astronaut then lights a couch on fire and throws it outside to distract the aliens, tricking them into thinking the flaming couch is their enemy. The Zorgans, fooled by the ruse, retreat, allowing the boys and the astronaut to avoid the immediate danger. The astronaut further explains that Zorgans are lizard-like aliens that hunt in space, searching for prey. They are vicious predators that feed on the flesh of their victims. Now safe for the moment, the astronaut, feeling hungry, starts eating the boys' food. Walter gets annoyed and confronts him, but the astronaut explains that only Danny, who summoned him, has the authority to send him away. Danny, grateful for the astronaut's help, decides to let him stay. Walter takes his turn again, but this time he realizes that Danny had been cheating in the game earlier. This leads to an argument between the two brothers. When Walter takes his turn, the game punishes him for cheating, and he is suddenly sucked up towards the roof and nearly thrown into space. The astronaut saves him just in time, pulling him back inside the house. Danny takes his next turn, but no card comes out of the game. Meanwhile, Lisa regains consciousness and returns to her normal state, unaware of everything that has happened while she was frozen. Unfortunately, Lisa unknowingly increases the house's heat, putting them all in danger once again. Walter is upset with Danny and blames him for everything that's gone wrong, saying that it's all Danny's fault they're in this situation. Hurt, Danny walks away. Walter receives a golden card that says, Make a wish upon a shooting star. Still angry at his brother, later, a shooting star appears in the sky. Walter considers making a wish that could affect Danny. The astronaut, sensing what Walter is thinking, warns him against making any rash decisions that he might regret later. But he wished for Brett Favre signed football. The astronaut reveals that 15 years ago, he had played this very same game with his younger brother. As they progressed through the game, they began to hate each other more and more. One day, the astronaut received the same shooting star card and, out of anger, wished that his younger brother had never been born. That wish trapped him in the game forever. They realize that the Zorgans have taken the game with them. Danny recalls leaving the game in the living room, but now the Zorgans have taken it along with everything else from that area of the house. They destroying furniture and setting parts of the house on fire. Lisa comes downstairs and tries to put out the flames, unaware of the larger danger. Walter and Danny are happy to see her back to normal, but the astronaut warns them that the Zorgans have returned, and they need a plan. The astronaut suggests they go to the Zorgan ship to retrieve the game. They carefully make their way to the basement, but the lizards are everywhere, making it difficult to reach the game. Danny is sent down to the basement via the dumbwaiter to retrieve the game. As he reaches the basement, he sees that the alien lizard have already entered the house. Danny spots the game and races to grab it, but he has to avoid the lizards lurking around. As he tries to retrieve the game, he notices that the goat have multiple eyes, making it even harder to sneak past them. After a tense moment, Danny manages to grab the game, but the lizards spot him, and he has to run for his life. Just when it seems like Danny is trapped, Walter arrives to save him. At that moment, the malfunctioning robot from earlier reactivates and grabs Walter. However, Walter shows the robot the reprogram card he received earlier in the game. The robot stops attacking Walter and instead turns on the alien lizard, attacking them and helping to clear the way for the brothers to escape. As the Zorgans continue to pursue them, the robot completely destroys the Zorgan spaceship, saving the day. With the Zorgans defeated, the brothers and the astronaut return to the game and prepare to take their final turns. Danny takes his turn, but no card comes out. Then, it's Walter's turn. Walter draws another golden card, the same, shooting star, card that allows him to make a wish. Walter sees the shooting star and thinks carefully about his wish. He decides to wish that the astronaut can reunite with his younger brother. Suddenly, another Danny appears in the room. The astronaut is overwhelmed with emotion as he embraces the younger Danny, revealing that he is actually the future version of Walter. Young Walter is confused, but the astronaut explains everything to him. As the astronaut brother and Danny come into contact, they merge into one. The future Walter, who had been stuck in the game for years, is now whole again. The astronaut congratulates Walter, telling him that he made the right choice. Walter realizes that the astronaut had been a version of himself all along. As the Zorgan spaceship surrounds them from all sides, Danny takes his final turn in the game. He draws a card that declares him the winner of Zathura. However, at that exact moment, the Zorgan spaceship begins attacking the house. They watch in awe as the central spinning ball of the game starts to whirl rapidly. Suddenly, another card pops out, indicating that the game is over. Confused, they don't quite understand what's happening. They soon realize that a black hole is forming, pulling everything around it into its vortex. The Zorgans, the house, and all the objects begin getting sucked into the black hole. Lisa is almost caught in the pull as well, but they try to hold on. The entire house is being torn apart as it's drawn toward the black hole, with Walter also being pulled in. Danny, seeing this, screams out in desperation as Walter pulled in black hole. In a dramatic turn, everything suddenly resets. The house is no longer floating in space, it's back on Earth, and everything is as it was before the game began. The damage is undone, and Walter and Danny are both safe. Walter quickly tells Danny not to press the game button again, realizing that the game has ended and they've survived. They look around and see that everything is back to normal, including the house, which is fully restored. Walter reassures Danny that they've won the game. As they come to terms with their victory, their dad returns home, unaware of the incredible adventure his children have just experienced. Walter and Danny head outside to practice catching together, this time as brothers who have grown to appreciate each other. They've gone through an extraordinary journey and now have a strong bond. Lisa, too, joins them and tells the boys that they should never speak of the game to anyone. Finally, the family leaves the house together, and the movie ends with the understanding that the adventure has brought them closer as a family.